Thank you. I'd like to cycle back now to a topic that is close to where we began this evening's forum, and that is the topic of education. Chris Coleman, if you'd be the first to address this question. A couple of our audience members have highlighted in their questions ideal relationships between the City of St. Paul and the Superintendent of Schools. What, in your opinion, is the ideal relationship between the Mayor's office and the new Superintendent of St. Paul Public Schools? And what are 3 issues you would like to tackle in the coming years in regards to the schools?
Well, thank you. First of all, as I indicated earlier, one of my top priorities has been education and asking the question of what role the city has to play in that process. It's not about blaming teachers for the challenges that our children face. It's about bringing them to the table and saying, how can we work together? After I was elected and even before I was sworn in, we brought together a summit over on the east side of St. Paul that talked about what we could do, and we mapped out the second shift, we mapped out the early childhood education opportunities, and those things are critically important. I had a very good working relationship with Dr. Karstarfin. We met on a regular basis. But the challenge is when you have a superintendent who's only here for a short period of time, you don't get a chance to do some of the things that you would like to do. So I hope that as the school board moves forward to pick a new superintendent, I would hope that we would be able to build on the working relationship that we've already developed, the same kind of working relationship that we have with other governmental entities to look for efficiencies. One of the things we asked is that, is there a way that we can kind of jointly mow, put together a service to mow lawns so we don't have, 6 or 7 different groups of people mowing lawns, that there would be one group. We're looking at how we share our buildings. If you look at the Jimmy Lee Rec Center, one of the key components was a combination of Central High School being able to use the facilities in Jimmy Lee. So we're trying to figure out more partnerships. We are trying to figure out how to do things smarter. It is critically important that the mayor of the city of St. Paul have a good working relationship with the superintendent of the St. Paul School District.
Thank you. EvaNg, same question.
The most important thing a mayor can do is provide guidelines to the school board and to the superintendent. And you can provide guidelines by getting input from the people. Again, this is where the listening program is so very important. So this is one of those topics on the forum. I will hear from the constituents and they will tell me what they would like to see out of the school board. And from those sentiments, we can distill out guidelines for the school board and for the superintendent. And then another thing we ought to look at is on the cash side. There are a lot of properties owned by the school board that are cash drains. That means there are properties that are non-performing and they're also requiring maintenance. We have to give them guidelines fiscally to deal with those properties. And so this is another area we can help the schools become more efficient, not just in teaching, but also in cash performance and in fiscal performance to the citizens.
Thank you. Each of you this evening have already mentioned a number of partnerships, and the word partnership has been bandied about quite broadly in recent days. What kind of cross-sector partnerships do you see that need to be strengthened for the benefit of the city and the region? Please use examples of shining examples of existing programs or changes that you would like to see that have not ever been addressed before. EvaNg, if you would be the first to address the question of cross-sector partnerships and their ability to strengthen our city.
Yeah, this is one of those things that I've wanted to do. As mayor, I should be the convener of resources, especially with the charitable resources from the private sector, from religious-based entities, with people who, foundations, whatever it is, that I need to be a person who marshals all those resources together, because a lot of these people are doing stuff on their own. Somebody's got a program here, they got a program there, and they're in disparate places. This is one person who can be a hub and pull all these resources together so they're talking to each other, so they can become a more effective force to elevate the human potential here in St. Paul. For instance, there are people who do not speak English, the new Americans who've come, and they are reliant on doing jobs that only their hands can do because they're not speaking English yet. And I think there are people who want to provide those resources, and we need to be able to pull that together and and teach that. And in private sector, they want a guy to do a particular something, and yet they're missing a small skill, like they don't know how to use Excel. My gosh, we could just use those downtown office space vacancies, and at night conduct a course on Excel. And then this way, we're going to expand the workforce that's available. We need to actualize the human potential here in St. Paul. If the mayor is so good at marshaling these resources, we can really, really do a good job with that.
Thank you. Chris Coleman, same question.
Well, I absolutely think that those kind of partnerships are critical to the success of the city of St. Paul. The fact of the matter is we can't do everything on our own. Government is not the only answer to problems. They're an important part. Government is an important part of this, of the fabric of the society. It's an important part of solving problems, but it can't do it alone. It has to do it in partnerships. We have numerous examples of where we have already done that. I look at the Central Corridor. The Central Corridor Partnership has brought together 12 different foundations to try to figure out how they could help shape that corridor, to improve people's lives, to look at issues from affordable housing to job creation to making sure transportation needs are met in that community. It's been an extremely, just an unbelievable thing, to the point where we put together the partnership and they said, we'll let you know if we need your help. We'll get back to you. And so we gave birth to it, we fostered it, and now it's out doing some incredible things. One of the key partnerships I think going forward that's going to be critically important is the partnership in the business community with the Capital City Partnership, with the foundation community, to really figure out how we do economic development better and stronger in the city of St. Paul. One of the things that we've done is we have looked at other cities for models. And it's very clear that we need an organization like Capital City Partnership to take the lead, to have the City of St. Paul use its resources, the Port Authority to use its resources, the Chamber of Commerce to use its resources, all of us pulling together for economic development. That's an important partnership that we are beginning to more fully develop.
Thank you.